This Tuesday episode is always a lot of fun because it is time for my favorite segment. This week in Shohei Ohtani news, we're going to talk about his outing on Saturday, all the history he keeps breaking, and of course, my Japanese word of the day. But let's start with his start on Saturday on the mound. Dominated. 7 innings. Only 3 hits, not a single earned run, and 8 strikeouts on the mound. Just another start of 7 innings and not a single earned run. It's truly unbelievable what he is doing to this point on the mound. You know, you compare the 2 seasons. Last year, fantastic, unanimous MVP. This year, even better. This year, for Shohei Ohtani, has been better than last year when he unanimously won the American League MVP award. In that start on Saturday, on the mound, he also, in the first inning, hit an opposite field double, off the wall, RBI for Shohei. He also scored a run in the game. So, hear me out here. This is the epitome of doing it all. He pitched, did not give up a run. He drove in a run, and he scored a run. He's responsible for both runs for the Angels. They scored 2 runs, and he didn't give up any. So he was responsible for, the win was Shohei's. The win was Shohei's win. Unbelievable. He also made a sick play on the mound, by the way, a comebacker up the middle that he just reached out and grabbed with no reaction time. He just reached out and caught it. That was sick. So naturally, I took the time to say, oh, he plays pretty good defense too, because people, knock on, well, he's not playing defense. Well, guess what? Yes, he is. Turns out he plays pretty good defense as well. So in that first inning, he threw a sinker that was 101.1 miles an hour. A sinker. It moved enough to be classified as a sinker. He also hit that ball to the opposite field that I mentioned at 106.8 miles an hour. Now, I'll just say that has never happened. One player has never done both of those things. A sinker at 101.1, and a hit off the bat at 106.8. He did them both in the first inning. Come on. This is getting remarkable what he's doing. It has been remarkable, but he's still doing, which is my thing. Let's not get complacent here. He's still doing it. Don't let the amazement ever wear off, okay? Ever. Let's appreciate this while it's happening. He's got 148 innings pitched on the year now and a 2.43 ERA. A 2.44 FIP, by the way. FIP basically means he's not getting lucky here. None of this is luck. It's the FIP and ERA are basically one and the same, meaning there's no luck one way or the other involved. This is right, and his ERA is 2.43, which is ridiculous. A 33.1 strikeout percentage and a 5.0 F-WAR on the mound. His strikeout rate of 11.92 leads all of baseball. Pretty impressive there. So the history he's just continued to make every outing, every night, every day. He goes out and adds on to his own history. He is a walking history book, breaking his own record. We should have a book of Shohei Ohtani records. That's what we should have at this point. But it's got to be a digital book because it's going to have to be updated and a new page every single night that he takes the mound. 2.43 ERA and 196 strikeouts, an 892 OPS and 34 home runs. Process that. His 2.43 ERA is the 4th best in all of baseball. He's allowed 19 earned runs in his last 16 starts. 19 earned runs in 16 starts. So, again, in the history books here, here's a cool stat. Players with 500 or more plate appearances and 500 or more batters faced in a single season since 1900. Let's see. 2022, Shohei Ohtani. 2021, Shohei Ohtani. 1919, Babe Ruth. End of list. Guess what? Open up another page in the history books. Shohei's about to be on a new page all by himself. He currently sits at 593 batters faced. He has gotten to 600 on the offensive side. 600. Meaning, probably in his next start, when he hopefully faces at least 7 batters, he will be the only player in history to be 600 and 600. 600 plus plate appearances and 600 plus batters faced in the same season. That will be a record all by himself. Pretty remarkable what he is doing. And this stat here that I have for you is more just a fun one. All right. Fun stat incoming. Number of Major League Baseball players in history. 22,835. Number of players in history with 180 or more strikeouts and an ERA less than 2.60 and a 5+ K to walk ratio. 38. Only 38 players in history have done that. Number of MLB players in history with a season of 30 or more homers, 5 or more triples, and an OBP of 350 or higher. 147 players in history have done that. Number of players in Major League Baseball history with both in a single season. 1. Shohei Ohtani. Wow. That's all you can say is wow. Historical on the offensive side, greatness on the offensive side, greatness on the pitching side. You put it all together, and you have Shohei Ohtani. That's what you have. Now, moving on in This Week in Ohtani News, as I have promised everybody, I'm going to continue the tradition of doing the Japanese word of the day that I was doing every single day in Japan. And Masa, my good friend Masa and translator, is once again here to join me for today's Japanese word of the day. Masa, take it away, my friend. Good.
Okay, today's word. You ready?
Yeah.
It's kind of slang though. Egui.
Egri?
Egui.
Egui. Egui.
Yeah.
Okay.
Egui.
What does that mean?
Yeah, like a nasty.
Oh, so it's slang
Nasty
for like,
pitch.
that's a nasty pitch. Okay. I've often wondered that
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I say nasty all the time, like Shohei is nasty, but Masa is also the one that does our translation for the subtitles that you see below. And I'm always like, what is the translation of nasty? So this is what you put.
Yeah, sometimes we use a kind of egui. Yeah,
Agui.
this word for nasty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you spell agui? Okay.
E-G-U-I.
Okay, so igui. Okay, I
Right.
like it. All right, so that means nasty. So that's a nasty pitch. That's an igui pitch in yakyu, which means baseball. All right, so my vocabulary is stacking up here. I'm getting on a good page here. I'm also at this point going back in older episodes and just keeping up to date with my vocabulary. So at some point, I'm going to just put them all together and be fluent in Japanese. That's the goal. So Masa, you will be joining me once a week, every single week until I am fluent in Japanese, okay?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thank you, as always, for joining me. This is great. Igui means nasty, and Shohei Ohtani himself is definitely igui, meaning nasty. So this week in Shohei Ohtani news comes to an end with my Japanese word of the day. So Masa, thank you, my friend. And that does it with this Week in Shohei Ohtani news. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.